President Bola Tinubu, in his New Year message on Wednesday, emphasized the need to repel distractions by a tiny segment of Nigerian population that still sees things through the prisms of politics, ethnicity, religion, and region. The statement partly reads, "On a personal note, thank you for placing your confidence in me as your president. Your trust humbles me, and I promise to continue serving you diligently and wholeheartedly. We will continue to embark on necessary reforms to foster sustainable growth and prosperity for our nation. I seek your cooperation and collaboration at all times as we pursue our goal of a $1 trillion economy. Let us stay focused and united. We are on the right path to building a great Nigeria that will work for everyone. Let us not get distracted by a tiny segment of our population that still sees things through the prisms of politics, ethnicity, religion, and region. To achieve our national goals and objectives, we must become better citizens and uncompromising in our devotion and allegiance to Nigeria." What is your take to this segment of Tinubu's New Year speech?
Well, that's a New Year message to Nigerians. I call it a message of hope. The president, as far as I understand and I know, is someone who is working assiduously to repositioning, the country to the right path of prosperity, development and growth. The decay in Nigeria before now is so high that it will take a lot of hard work to put Nigeria on the pedestal of growth, which the man is doing. We understand the challenge that Nigerians are facing when it comes to the removal of fuel subsidy, which affected virtually everything, including the cost of food. Basic things that household needs, we are affected in terms of price. And the unfortunate thing is that there was no commensurate pay, to cushion the effect of that. But the president is working so hard. This is not a case of, giving him praises, but we are seeing the indices, in as much as things are a bit tough. But we believe that with time, those things will normalize, The man is working as you can see from the look of
What are the indices that you're talking about?
If you look at the economy today, we're a bit improving from where he took over. When he took over and the removal of fuel subsidy.
What are the areas of improvement?
Today, even the fuel that we use, that is central to everything, even though the price is a bit higher from what the last government left it at, but you see that
a bit higher.
Yes, a bit higher. Yes, a bit higher.
What's the margin?
A bit higher. That's not the question now. We are talking about it's higher than what it was.
A lot
before.
higher, George.
No, you will say a lot higher, in comparison to other places. We know it's affecting everything we are doing in this country, no doubt. But one thing that there is availability of this product at all times. Another thing is that the price has for a while now remained a bit stagnant, not going up. We are in festive period, in time past by now. One, you wouldn't have been seeing it in the filling stations, and the price would have been so high that everybody would be groaning. But that is a positive on its own. I believe the government the NNPC is working. Just recently, I saw that the Warri refinery has come on stream. Gradually we'll get there. Just take a cue from the GSM when it first came out. It was tough for most families to, get a phone and a line. But today, with as little as 100 naira, you can get an airtime. You can get phones, you can get line and all that. That is where we are heading. We might not get up to that level, but we'll get to a point where, like if you listen to the president, he talked about, in one of those, his statements, he talked about giving credit to farmers and things like that. He understands that the issue of food is a major problem in Nigeria. There is need for food, security. So farmers will be given credit to, improve on their production so that the prices of food will come down. If we have those basic things put in place, I'm sure that Nigerians will be happy for it. Will be happier for it, rather, because when the basic things that every household need is lacking, that is where it becomes excruciating for the family. But if these basic things such as food, transportation come down to the level where almost all the households can afford it, you will see improvement happening. The Nigeria of today, you know, is a bit different from Nigeria of yesterday, know that. But let us not just completely blame. This is not a case of me trying to defend the president now. I'm being realistic about what I'm saying. We cannot completely place the blame on the president when the country itself, prior to this time, was being run aground. So the man is working to ensure. One of the things he has done is this local government autonomy. You know, the removal of fuel subsidy also helped in one way or the other. You know, the money that emanated therefrom was also shared. Yeah, the money that that was being used to subsidize fuel now goes back to the government, which now the three tiers of government shares this money. I'm coming.
You really want us to have that conversation?
No. Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, if it is not left for those who man this position to utilize, I'm talking about this money was not taken away completely. Ordinarily, what if this man had shifted this money to an account where it cannot be accounted for? We'll all be blaming him. This money was given to the three tiers of government to also further development of their areas. When we talk about government, the government is not just about federal government. The sub-national government also have a role to play in ensuring development. The local government, the grassroots level also have their roles to play. Everybody has their roles to play. Let there be accountability. Those who were elected, the way the democracy is being run, will have provisions for checks and balances. Unfortunately, those who are saddled with the responsibility of doing this are the ones not doing it. That is the unfortunate situation. So the president is working to ensure that we get it to, we get a better life rather. He might not have achieved it all. He might not even achieve it all before he leaves that position. But there are conscious moves to ensure that these things happen.
All right. I asked you about the indices, and you talked about NNPC opening the Warri refinery and the recent Port Harcourt refinery that also sections of them. No, Dangote is a private investment.
It doesn't matter. It still has
it matters.
No,
it doesn't. Hold on. Dangote is a private investment that almost went awry. Because of the politics that was playing around that investment. That's on one hand. I am talking about, so far, you have applauded the president and you say he's doing well, and to a large extent, just like Ababio said, he inherited a country that is almost comatose and all that. Now, and you also said things are getting better, and that the difficulty is is slightly higher. Let's look at this slightly, because I think that's where, clinched my interest. Prior to this time, fuel was not up to 300 naira a liter. Fuel now, I buy fuel for 1,080 naira. That's what I buy fuel. Now, that is like, when you say slightly would be probably if it's 100 naira higher from what he inherited. We are talking of increments over time that spanned over 1,000 naira. Fuel sold as high as 1,500. And, thankfully, it has reduced to where it is right now. Where it is...
Which is a plus.
Hold on. It is still not a plus.
Go ahead.
Hold on. It is still not a plus. Because where it is right now does not in any way make life easier for Nigerians. Let's do comparative analysis of what you have done and what is obtainable. Let's look at power, for example. There were hikes in between between 2023 and now, and 2024 December. Power was hiked up to 2 or 3 times. And then, with the hike came promise of a more stable power supply. Meanwhile, those hikes were not constitutionally followed, because there are constitutional provisions for the Ministry of Power to increase power. the tariffs to increase. It is well stated in our constitutional provision. Adelabu broke the constitution because he did not, follow what there was supposed to be a public meeting, a town hall meeting. The people who were consuming this, the consumers of this power were supposed to have a say. Nigerians, did they have a say? Even when these hikes were imposed, Nigerians kicked against it, but Adelabu went ahead. And then after that, national grid in a space of how many months collapsed how many times exactly? Now, you see, it would have been bearable, the power situation and the subsidy removal situation would have been bearable to a large extent if the power sector was working. So now, I could say, okay, I can understand the increments in tariff considering what the discourse are saying and the cost of generating, this power and all that. I could understand that. But now, there'll be less reliance on PMS, which means instead of pumping money into the PMS, we'll now put money into buying tariffs, buying more units for lights. Now, Nigerians pay higher in power, in tariffs, and even at that, right now we don't even have epileptic power supply. Prior to this time we are saying, oh, we have epileptic. Now we don't even have power. That, in my head, does not even exist anymore. So now we are solely dependent on PMS to generate power for ourselves. And that PMS is not affordable. Small, medium enterprises are groaning. Small, medium enterprises are crying because in addition to the high cost of generating power for yourself, you're looking at multiple taxation, which the government has not done anything about, by the way. And then from there, you move on to dollar volatility. Up until now, it's not stable. Even foreign companies, please go and do your maths, have closed down. A lot of them have relocated to other countries as well. The federal government is borrowing after borrowing. There is barely a week that I don't hear a story about borrowing. I am now worried. No, hold on.
Let me respond to some of this. What if I forget some?
You will not. I will remind you. Hold on. Because I allowed you to have your say. So hold on. I am a Nigerian. And I am living the Nigerian reality. I am living the Nigerian reality. This is a situation where, prior to this time, let me even come from the angle of women who are mothers, who have responsibilities to take care of their homes. Probably nobody is voicing out the frustration of women in this country. Because women, the only way you could actually even plan around your family is by stock buying. So you stock up with the little you have, considering how high things are. Then when you stock up, no, hold on, please. This is important. When you stock up, and at the end of the day, there is no light to sustain whatever it is you have bought and put in your freezer. You are now forced to buy at least minimum of 10,000 naira worth of fuel every day in order to make sure you preserve those things. Times 10,000 naira chinda by 10 days. How much is minimum wage? How much? And you're still talking of health. Paracetamol is no more affordable. People that have health issues that has to be sustained with drugs cannot afford those drugs anymore. Should we go on and on? Mortality, infant mortality rate, maternal mortality. So tell me how the areas of the country that has gotten better.
You are going off the tangent.
I am not going off the tangent because politics and economy run side by side, because the people you vote in are the people that affect the policies. So don't tell me I'm going off the tangent. Just answer the question.
I'm not here on your studio to. I was not sent by the presidency to come and defend them. I am not even working for the presidency. I'm only being as realistic as I can be also. You talked about the removal of fuel subsidy. We have not even looked at it from the angle of what it was doing to Nigeria when there was subsidy.
Okay, go
what
ahead.
It was doing to the economy of Nigeria. We had a former minister, Okunjiwala, coming to tell Nigerians that if this thing is not killed, we'll get to a point where we cannot pay salary. Nobody is talking about that.
Right.
The last president continued to do that. Even before he left, his government had put a proposed date to end the fuel subsidy because he knew that that would kill Nigeria. It's like Nigerians...
The proposed date was 2 months after inauguration.
Yeah, the only thing that's happened is that Tinubu came and in his inaugural speech, he removed the fuel subsidy. He did not allow it to. He did not work in line with the time given by the government that he took over from. If not, the past government of Buhari knew it was difficult. Even with that, we were still having scarcity. You know, these marketers were so powerful and all of that. That's on one side.
Do you actually believe fuel subsidy has been removed?
No, don't take me to that side. We are talking about realistic matter. We are seeing fuel scarcity here now. In Nigeria, it was difficult. Sometimes you don't see it. People queue up. Whatever happens behind the scene is not really my business.
Removal of fuel subsidy is entirely different from fuel scarcity. They are two different conversations.
No. What I'm trying to say is the removal of the fuel subsidy that is what we are discussing here. Yes, at the initial stage up till now, Nigerians are still groaning. Things are difficult for Nigerians. But like I said, the market forces at some point will make these things to be available for Nigerians at a rate that will be affordable to them. You talked about power.
No, you're still talking about fuel subsidy.
No, you got everything. I will address it the way I want to address it.
Are you sure that subsidy indeed has been removed? And you don't want to answer that.
Subsidy has been removed now. What are you saying? It has been removed. If you have any evidence, you bring it.
Subsidy means that removing subsidy means that the government will not pay the extra.
That is why the cost has gone up to that 1,018 naira you're talking about. And in some places, 900 and something naira.
1,018 naira.
In some places, somebody told me they bought 900 and something naira somewhere in River State. I bought 1,014 naira yesterday. You know, the price fluctuations, you know, these marketers, independent marketers, are the ones.
How much is the exchange rate of naira against the dollar?
That is, listen, let me respond to one before you get to the other.
George, go ahead.
What we are saying in essence is that the removal of fuel subsidy at the initial stage affected everything, including the prices of food. And like you said, the minimum wage did not go up immediately. So Nigerians were suffering. At some point, even the federal government listened and increased the minimum wage, which is still not...
Is it commensurate?
It's not. I'm coming. Okay. I said it's still not commensurate. It's a gradual thing that will get there. It's a gradual thing we'll get there. At least there's a step that we have understood that Nigerians are suffering. Let's increase the minimum wage. They have done that. This thing is not stagnant. Maybe in a few years' time again, they will do more. You look at the available resources before. Don't be looking at it as if this country, Nigeria doesn't have money. Nigeria is a poor nation. Nigeria is a poor nation. Nigeria doesn't have money. Nigeria doesn't have money the way you think.
Nigeria doesn't have money. One would say Nigeria doesn't have money when it comes to the masses, but Nigeria has money when it comes to the political class. No.
Even if you decide to say let's share this money, household by house, individual by individual, Nigeria still does not have money. Nigeria doesn't have money. And remember, whatever you're doing, you must also build infrastructure. That's the capital. There must be a capital project for the country, because without those capital projects, if you like, be paying people 1 million naira as minimum wage, the country will not develop if you don't build your capital project, that infrastructure. So the government, no doubt, is doing their best. And I believe this is just barely 2 years, 1 year and some months. Let's allow them to finish this and see how far. At the end of their first tenure, we would have seen whether there is improvement or not. Coming to power, I was quite shocked that you did not give kudos to the government for the improvement in power. You just made it look like there was no power at all. No, that is not correct. You and I knew.
Judge, from where I stay.
In the same place that I stay.
Well,
you cannot use isolated cases to judge. You cannot use that. There are areas that do have power supply. Not that the national grid at some point broke down. These are some.
How many times did it break down this year?
These are issues. The most important thing is that they are working on it. Even in those developed nations where you think they have 24 power supply, there comes a time when some of these things break down and they make an announcement to people, please give us some time. They fix it. These are natural issues that happen.
How many times did it break down this year?
When you keep asking me how many times.
Over 10 times. Make it make sense.
But they are working. They are working to fixing it. Way? People could be sabotaging it. Are you aware of that?
No, educate me.
No, you're not aware that people could be sabotaging that.
I'm not aware of it.
Huh?
What Adelabu said was that the national grid, that they could not meet up the target because of vandalization. Is it, prior to this time, haven't Nigerians been crying out about vandalization? Is vandalization
you are being economical with the truth when you did not give praises to the government for the improvement in power. We know where we were coming from. There was improvement in power. At some point, we were in the areas where we live. Some of us were having light up to 18 hours a day. When the national grid began to break down, the thing began to reduce. We understood. But the most important thing is that there was conscious effort to increase this. There's no nation in this world that will develop without power. Without power, you are doing nothing. You cannot be running on generator and expect to develop. The government is working. I'm not here to defend them, but let us be truthful to ourselves.
What is sustainable development?
I'm coming, you came up with an issue which I told you were going off the tangent, talking about women and this.
I will talk about it.
Tell me what you want the government to do, especially for women.
But before we go there, no. Don't say especially for women. I was giving you a real-time, realistic experience of the struggles
that women pass through.
Not just women, you are a man, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure you bring food to the table. Of women pass through and how tough it is with the current reality. Now you are talking about power and how there was an improvement of probably a month till
that's far. Don't be economic.
George, what is the meaning of sustainable development, please?
Laurentia.
What's the meaning of sustainable development?
Listen, you're talking about sustainable development. This is a conscious effort that the government is trying to put in place. Adelabu came to say there was vandalism, and if truly there was vandalism, it will affect that level of power that was being given. The most important thing is that the government did not just sit back to allow it like that. They went into work and began to fix one or two things. It is for the government to ensure that they beef up security around the national grid where criminals will not have...
So now after 10 times of the national grid collapsing on account of vandalization, after 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, over 10 times in a space of 1 year, we are still talking about beefing up security. We are yet to beef up security to counter vandalization of whatever equipment's interesting. Now, let's move over to what the president said, because I think that's where my interest is. More like telling Nigerians to ignore political regional distractions in politics and governance. Is it possible to ignore political regional issues when it comes to governance?
It is very possible if the politicians did not take advantage of religion, and whatever. The politicians are the ones, overheating this and taking advantage of it. The ordinary man in the streets of Sokoto and the ordinary man in the streets of Port Harcourt are not concerned with those things. What they want is, availability of things to live a life and do well in whatever they are doing. Not about, now Osa man they come out, now Igbo man they come out, now this one they come out. The elites are the ones that, use these things
to the masses
to divide our people. Oh, these are the issues. That is what the president is trying to, he's talking to the political class, not the ordinary people. Please eschew these things, because if you continue with these things, it will destroy our country. It still brings back to, the vandalism of the national grid and things like that, as was reported by Adelabu. You understand? People still take advantage of it. How come it was when the issue of taxation,
yes, go ahead.
The taxation that the federal government wanted to come up with, it was that period that the vandalism happened almost in a month. It happened more than 2 or 3 times. And you're not asking, it's still based on this whole thing. Yes, the government have the security to secure whatever they have to secure. But the truth about it is that the Nigerian nation is polarized, it's divided along these ethnic lines, along these religious lines.
How are you linking collapse of national grid to tax reform?
Just a sabotage, to sabotage the government, to make sure that the government does not... Listen, if the power is not working and they are taxing you and things like that, and fuel, like you just said here, it costs a lot of money to buy PMS. to preserve whatever you have.
No, don't cite that example.
No, wait. Now, what I'm saying is, as Nigerians, even me, I'm using my vehicle. I also have my generator at home. I feel the pains also. It's not as if I'm immune to this things.
You're immune.
No. I'm not even a government staff.
I am surprised that you're saying you're not immune.
No, I'm not. But I'm trying to let you know that these people, if they are just docile and not doing anything, we will still be complaining. At the end of the day, maybe when the election comes, we say we are not voting for them. We need a new person. That's the highest we can do. We'll be complaining. But they are working, they are ensuring they are working, and the man is coming to, tell you that, I'm not defending him here. Nobody asked me to do that, but I'm just trying to be realistic, that the job is so enormous. It's not an easy job like that. It's not it's not something that you can just come and say, with the wave of hand, you fix Nigeria. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of decay and rot over the years. And gradually someone is coming to say, okay, coming up with policies to see how you can address. The pains will be there at the moment. Let's give him little time to see if there will be improvement. And if at the end of the 4 years, we are not even seeing any visible improvement, we can say, oh God, this magic way CARICOM did not work. You understand? But for now, we keep, So
you're saying the policies of the government is not going to be an overnight kind of
No government over the world can come up with a policy that will start immediately and begin to yield results.
Very well.
No, we have short term, medium term, and even the short term is not 1 year, it's not 2 months.
And you feel these policies are being politicized by people who feel they do not want the government to continue.
That is the nation that you live in. If you don't want to accept the reality, then you're on your own. That is the nation we live inside.
The question will be, what is the job of the National Orientation Agency?
That agency is long dead. That agency is long dead. In fact, they should just scrap it because I don't see what they are doing. The truth is that with the advent of social media today,
are people not receiving salaries from the
agency? Like I said, the agency is long dead. But if you decide to, remove that agency from, the government agency, and still Nigerians that will cry, oh, parents, Nigerians have been, removed from their job and things like that. But that agency is no longer active. Today, we are happy that with the advent of social media, Nigerians are more enlightened.
Is that not more why the government needs to resuscitate the National Orientation Agency so they can use these platforms to actually give Nigerians proper orientation and engage Nigerians on what's going on?
The truth about the matter is Nigerians are already opinionated about some of this.
Regardless of being opinionated, there is need for education.
It doesn't really matter the level of how many people we even accept this orientation. You will see people already, their mind are made up.
Has the government tried?
The government...
Now, doesn't that goes to show that it's a situation where whatever it is you Nigerians are feeling, it is what it is. The government will go ahead with what they want to do, deal with it. Just like Akpabio said, when the call for end bad governance increased, and he said, well, you want to protest, you can go ahead and protest, but we'll be eating and we'll be feasting in our house and watching. If the statement are insensitive, no doubt. If the Nigerian citizen, the government is so concerned about how Nigerian citizens think, and they are so concerned about the vote of the Nigerian masses, don't you think it's time for the government now to embark on rigorous orientation, whether Nigerians take it or not? Let it be that they did their part. Don't you agree?
Listen, I am quite sure that the government is doing, even the National Orientation Agency you're talking about, I don't think you even have a link to their website or to whatever handle, social media handle. I don't think you have.
Their state director comes on my show.
They might be doing something, but they are so insignificant to Nigerians that people do not even want to listen to what they are doing. We have other media platforms that give us information. Social media on daily basis, people get to know what is happening. So nobody cares about, they have been dwarfed. They have been overtaken. So irrespective of what they come to do today, people don't regard that as anything. That's the angle I want you to know.
When you talk about social media, the question now boils down to source of information.
I agree with you.
It is one thing that, someone with ethnic, religious, or political inclination or bias is churning out information from a certain prism, like the the president said. And it's different from when the government is coming out to tell Nigerians, this is what it is. So when Nigerians are reacting, they are reacting based on what the government has said. And again, you know, when people come out to give information, now the National Orientation Agency can come out to make clarifications and give proper orientation.
You are speaking as someone who is in the media. I am telling you as someone who is in the field that Nigerians would not even care what the National Orientation Agency comes to say.
They've lost
even this is so shocking that even educated people who begin to know Nigeria, forget them. What are they saying?
Right.
That is the pessimism in us as a people. So in all of this, what I'm trying to let you know is that not even you, Chioma Laurentia, if you are made the president today, that will solve the Nigeria's problem in 4 years. This thing has become so huge that anybody that comes here will take time to put things in place.
All right.
And those things cannot just happen overnight. Let's give the president, you know, we can see that he's coming up with some policies. It was quite tough when he removed fuel subsidy. But today, things are normalizing.